Howdy, music fans. Welcome to another episode of Unsung Heroes of Rock and Roll. Today will be Alvin Lee from 10 Years After. 10 Years After, I think, is the best British blues band, blues rock band that there was, considering a band that stayed a British blues rock band. Not like the Rolling Stones, which is a different category in my mind. I love 10 Years After. I think they're fantastic. So let's get going. The first one is just 10 Years After. And there's some boogie woogie as always, and some swinging jazzy stuff, and some rockin' stuff on here. They didn't come into their sound really until a few albums later, but this one is good for sure. And then this one is Undead. This one is a live album, and live they're pretty spectacular, as people know from the Woodstock performance, of course, with I'm Coming Home and whatever else they did on that. So this is also another good one. I prefer, though, their studio material. This one, is probably one of my absolute favorite ones. One of my top three for sure. It's got Bad Scene, Two Time Mama, Stoned Woman, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, If You Should Love Me, I Don't Know That You Don't Know My Name. And they start getting into some more melodic stuff in here, and some more just different melodies, and songs having different sections and different parts. And Alvin Lee is just was a wizard at the guitar, a fantastic guitar player. There's a couple other songs on there I didn't mention, but this was a real good one. Cricklewood Green wasn't my favorite, but I do like it. Sugar the Road is, I think, one that's kind of a little bit country-ish, which is kind of cool. Either that one or Working on the Road, I'm not sure. 50,000 Miles Beneath My Brain, great title. There were some cool songs on this, but it wasn't my favorite. They get a little psychedelic sometimes, a little out there in their blues rock, but I still like them. They're very listenable. Now this one may be the top of the heap for me, 10 Years After. Watt, W-A-T-T. I'm Coming On, My Baby Left Me, Think About the Times, I Say Yeah, The Band with No Name, Gonna Run, She Lies in the Morning, and then Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16. I love every song on this, and it might be because it's a childhood memory. I played it as a kid a lot, and I listened to every single song on it, and I just thought it was great. This is, again, they're getting a little more melodic, but there's also some rockers on here. Real good album. Then we have another live one, 10 Years After live at the Fillmore. I believe this is Fillmore East. I believe this is 1969. Pretty sure. So this has been released a couple times under a couple of different looks, and it's a double disc, and it's another great live set of 10 Years After. This one, A Space and Time, this is the one that had their big hit, besides I'm Coming Home, which is, the song was One of These Days, and that, no, I'd Love to Change the World, sorry, I'd Love to Change the World, that was the big radio play one they got at the time, they had off of this album, but it's a good album altogether, though. I think there's a song called Hard Monkeys on here, yeah, Hard Monkeys. Uncle Jam is another one on here. There's a lot of cool songs, and I'd Love to Change the World is definitely a great one, and that one shows how they can go seamlessly between this pretty arpeggio acoustic picking and then into the kind of rockin' part where it picks up after that. So they definitely were very versatile musicians. The next one, Rock and Roll Music to the World. This is probably the second one for me. This one has You Give Me Lovin', Convention Prevention, Turned Off TV Blues, Standing at the Station, which is kind of a slow blues, You Can't Win 'Em All, which is a bit rockin', Religion, Choo Choo Mama is a great rocker, Tomorrow I'll Be Out of Town is a great rocker, and Rock and Roll Music to the World is a great rocker. So some real good rock and roll on this one, which is one reason I really do like this one a lot. Well, I guess I haven't been showing the insides of these. I don't know that it's really that necessary. They're not that exciting for the most part. And I chose not to put music on. I'm wondering what people think of that when I do videos with the band playing on the stereo. Is that a good thing or is that distracting? I don't really know. Any comments would be welcome. And then the last one I have, I'm missing a couple. I'm missing Stonehenged and one or two others, or Stonehenge. 10 Years After, recorded live. So another live disc that they released, which is also really good. All right, so that takes care of 10 Years After, and it gets me to Alvin Lee's solo career. 10 Years After had pretty good career. They were pretty big. They were pretty well known. They played to huge crowds, and they were loved by many. But Alvin Lee, had a more of an unsung solo career. I want to get you guys the names of the musicians. Rick Lee, I believe, is the drummer. I can't remember all of them. Rick Lee is the drummer. Chick Churchill is organ and piano. Fantastic organ player. Leo Lyons is bass. And Alvin Lee does guitar and vocals and writes almost all the songs. A lot of originals. All right, so the first one I have, and I'm definitely missing some from his catalog, at least 3 or 4, if not more, is called Alvin Lee and Company In Flight. 2 remastered CDs at a special price. Includes 2 bonus tracks. And he continued to just keep on rocking. He kept that sound that he established with 10 Years After, as far as the rock and roll sound goes, and the blues and the boogie woogie, but and writing his own songs. A lot of it is very similar, but he definitely evolves as an artist and as a guitar player. And I like the fact that he stays the course with a lot of rock and roll numbers. And he also does some acoustic numbers. Some sound a little bit country almost, which can be kind of refreshing for me. I like that stuff. Then this one is called Rocket Fuel, and this is called Alvin Lee and 10 Years After. And I'm not sure. He did a few albums later with 10 Years After, and I don't know what the deal with that is, but this is another one that I don't know terribly well. I'll get to the ones I know better, but this one is good. I do remember liking it, and same with that last one, In Flight. I know I like it, but I don't know if it's I couldn't tell you what songs on it really grabbed me that I remember. But there are plenty of Alvin Lee albums here that I do know in more detail, such as this one. What a crazy title and cover. It's called RX5. Hang On, Lady Luck, Can't Stop, Wrong Side of the Law, Nutbush City Limits, that's a Tina Turner song. Rock and Roll Guitar Picker, that's a rocker, of course. Double Loser, Fool No More, and Dangerous World. And High Times. My recollection is that this one is pretty rockin' most of the way through. It's a good, straight rock and roll album. Every now and then he ventures into a little bit of a new sound, like with synthesizers or with with production, and he gets away with it with some pretty decent results. It's not always my favorite of his stuff. I like it when he really sticks to the rock and roll, the Chuck Berry style rock and roll, but he does do a lot of other good stuff. I Hear You Rockin' is the name of this one. This one I think I picked up actually in the last year or two. Can barely see the songs on here. Keep On Rockin', Long Legs, I Hear You Rockin', Ain't Nobody's Business. Boogie All Day. There's a bunch of rock and roll ones on this one. Take It Easy, not the Eagles, but his. My Baby's Come Back to Me. Give Me Your Love. Yeah, there's a lot of good songs on this one as well. And I remember this being a really pretty hard rockin' album. Just good rock and roll. I have a book on him too, which is the only thing I've ever seen with information on him anywhere. And I found it, I think, on eBay probably or something. It's just called Alvin Lee, I think. Hard to find anything on him. This is Live in Vienna, so another live one, but this is him and that band that he's playing with, just not 10 Years After. Although he did do albums with 10 Years After, or they did a couple albums as late as early 2000s, I believe, and one in the late 80s. And I've recently sampled a little bit of them online, and even though they don't have Alvin Lee singing and playing guitar, they're actually pretty good, the ones I've listened to. This one, Alvin Lee in Tennessee, it's just fantastic. This one is Scotty Moore, DJ Fontana, Pete Pritchard, and Willie Rainsford. I don't know the last two guys, but Let's Boogie, Rock and Roll Girls, Take My Time, I'm Gonna Make It, Something's Gonna Get You, Why Did You Do It, Getting Nowhere Fast, How Do You Do It, that's a real rocker, Let's Get It On, Tell Me Why, I'm Going Home, and yeah, having that band behind him, DJ Fontana and Scotty Moore. Pretty great stuff on this one. I highly recommend. Like if you haven't heard Alvin Lee solo and you want to start somewhere, this is the place to start. It's got a good mixture of rock and roll and boogie and some of his little bit jazzy stuff. I don't think there's anything too terribly country or acoustic on here, but it's very, very solid album. This one is another one, Sag Guitar. I absolutely love this one too. This has got some of my favorite Alvin Lee songs on it. This one I would say would be a good place to start too. Anytime You Want Me is a really great one, a rocker. The Squeeze, It's Time to Play, Midnight Train, Motel Blues, Only Here for the Ride, Memphis, Got a Lot of Living to Do, Blues Has Got a Hold on Me, It's All Good, Education, I think that was a pretty good one too. Rapper, Smoking Rope, and Rocking Rendezvous, another good one. And then the back is just pretty simple. And if you know Alvin Lee, you know he is quite the guitar master. And he lets it shine in all of these albums. This one is Still on the Road to Nowhere. This one has a couple of tracks that are a little more acoustic and country sounding. Still on the Road to Freedom, Listen to Your Radio Station, Midnight Creeper, Save My Stuff, I'm a Lucky Man, Walk On, Walk Tall, Blues Got Me So Bad, Song of the Red Rock, Mountain, Nice and Easy, Back in '69, Downline Rock, Rock You, Love Like a Man. And as usual, I believe these are pretty much written by Alvin Lee. Somewhere it probably says like all songs written by Alvin Lee except for, and then has a couple. All songs written by Alvin Lee. Yeah. So just some text in there. Those two are probably my favorite. In Tennessee and Sag Guitar, and then I like Still on the Road to Freedom. And RX-5 is really good. The Last Show, I don't know if that's actually true, but this one was, oh maybe is this 2002 or 3? It is so hard to see these. Sorry about the light here. And he does an Al Cooper song, a bunch of Alvin Lee songs, an Arthur Crudup song, which is My Baby Left Me, the one that Elvis covered, one of the ones Elvis covered. Rip It Up, the Otis Blackwell song that Little Richard does. Love Like a Man, I Woke Up This Morning. Scat Encounter. He does this cool scat thing with the guitar where he's basically scatting the notes that he's playing, which is pretty interesting. He does that in studio and in live things. I'm Writing You a Letter. That's a rocker. That's an Alvin Lee song also. Sorry about my glasses going on and off repeatedly. It's just I can't really read the small print without them, but it's also they're not really that conducive to. They're only needed for reading and conducive for reading. And the last one that I have, and I'm sure I will obtain more in time, is the Anthology. And I got this. I think I've mentioned this before in other videos. There's a store that labels some things as scuff if they're a little beat up and puts them at a real low price. And I've gotten pretty lucky with most of those. There's been a couple I've had to take back that really did skip. But this one is the Anthology, and it basically has, a whole collection of his stuff. Keep on Rockin', Wake Up Mama, On the Road to Freedom, Play It Like It Used to Be. That's a really good one. I think he mentions Madonna in that song. Real Life Blues, Back in My Arms, Ain't Nobody's Business, Long Legs, Put It in a Box, Boogie All Day, Love Like a Man, Jenny Jenny, Love the Way You Rock Me, and the Bluest Blues. Anyway, you get the idea. That's the first disc, and it's a long collection, 2-disc collection of his solo material. Anyway, if you're not into Alvin Lee or 10 Years After, but you like whiz guitar, blues rock guitar players, and you like blues rock that dips in other areas sometimes, I highly recommend 10 Years After, and just for the rock and roll, I highly recommend Alvin Lee. So tell me what you think. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts about doing a video without the music, if it's better with or better without. Anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.